What up, what up, what up? Thank you for tuning in to the Swish Masters Podcast, and thank you to our sponsor, SS96. Visit ss96.net and use the promo code Swish Masters for 15% off. Yeah, that's right, you heard me right. 15% off on all store items. Hats, hoodies, t-shirts, whatever you need, SS96 has it. Also, don't forget to go and check out that music from Straight Stoner, produced by yours truly. You know what it is, Gut Gang, mobbing, sleepwalking. We out here. Thank you.
All right, welcome back to the Swish Masters Podcast. I'm your co-host, QtheGuru.
Welcome, man. I'm Zay, the executive producer. What's up, Q?
What's up, bro? What's up, Zay?
How you feeling, man? You have the look of disappointment, man. Yeah, what's going on?
Man, I just watched a finals game that was. I predicted the Celtics to win, rightfully so. It was looking like I was right for about 3.5 quarters. From that 7-minute mark on, the Celtics. Let's. I barely want to get into this right now. I barely do, but I'm gonna just go on and get through it. Okay, so the Warriors won Game 4 of the NBA Finals. They tied the series 2-2.
Yeah, they did.
They ended up tying it. They won 107-97. Yeah. You go first, man. What's your initial reaction? Because I can't do it right now.
I was under the impression that the Celtics would win as well, with them being at home and how they played in the last game. I think we both predicted the Celtics win. But honestly, for my long-term prediction of the Warriors winning the chip overall, this went well for the Warriors. And like you said, particularly later in the game, the second half, they started to make adjustments, and Celtics weren't really able to neutralize Steph, obviously. They couldn't really put together those great offensive runs on the Celtics end. A lot of guys just weren't really a factor tonight. Al Horford was a target for the Warriors on offense and their pick and roll. Overall, man, this is going to be interesting. The Warriors have really made this series interesting now, because both teams have split at home, and it's wide open now. So I'm glad to see the series getting a little tougher. But yeah, I'm with you, man. Like the first half, all Celtics. I mean, Jaylen Brown was going off. Tatum was shooting threes. Marcus Smart was scoring buckets. Robert Williams was dominant on defense. Second half, here come the Warriors. Here comes that championship experience we talked about. Stuck with it and got the win, man. That's my initial reaction, bro.
All right. My initial reaction is that the Celtics really beat themselves in this game. They really did. Like I said, from that 7-minute and the fourth quarter on, terrible. And they were beating themselves throughout the game too, not just at that point. The turnovers were another issue. Again with the turnovers. They had 15 turnovers today. 15. All right, granted the Warriors has like 16, true, but Boston keeps beating themselves. They actually got out-rebounded tonight.
Yeah, they did.
They actually got out-rebounded tonight. 55-42. The Warriors got 16 offensive rebounds. Yeah, the Warriors got 16 offensive rebounds to the Celtics 11. Like, this is. And then Jason Tatum. It was like, I can't. I'm gonna save my comments for the Celtics until we discuss what went wrong, because I have a lot to say about what went wrong. But I want to give my flowers to the Warriors. Shout out to Steph Curry. An amazing game. I think this was the finals game everyone was waiting for. He hit a 40-piece.
Oh, yeah.
He gave us 43, 10, and 4. I think this was the finals game everyone was waiting for Steph Curry to have. And he had it. And if they somehow win the series, he's definitely your finals MVP. Which is what he's missing for a lot of people.
Yeah, can't argue that. He's been the focal point, the main instrument in the offense for Golden State. He's been instrumental, and he was big tonight, man.
Yeah, it was huge. Let's talk about the MVP for the game. I think we're both going to agree. The same person we were just talking about. Mine, of course, is Steph Curry. And I kind of have to give another nod to Steve Kerr for having the courage to take out Draymond Green, who is not good at all. Again, very ineffective. Until he had 2 really good assists in the fourth quarter, in the final 2 minutes or so of the game. 2 really key assists and some key rebounds finally. Because before that, it was like he was not getting rebounds. He was not scoring. And again, Draymond is not known as a scorer. But I have to give Draymond some credit too, to come out and to come back into the game. But the same mentality for the most part. You know, that's very discouraging to get benched. Especially when you're a player of Draymond's caliber with so many credentials. You know, this is a champion, a starter, and to be benched like that. Shout out to Steve Kerr for making that adjustment, because it seemed like that adjustment really helped the Warriors, and that's honestly when the game changed.
Yeah.
So yeah, Steph Curry, and then of course Steve Kerr.
Yeah, solid choices, man. Obviously, Steph had a monster game. Can't deny that. But I like to, you know how I am. I like to shout out the underdog. And to me, that's my guy, the all-star starter, Andrew Wiggins. Put some respect on his name. Yeah, obviously he didn't score 40 like Steph, but it's the stat sheet others that count to me. 16 rebounds, career high for Andrew Wiggins in rebounds. Him and Kevin Looney were big on the glass, and that made a big difference for the Warriors, man. I can't deny his, and also putting up the 17 points. Very important points from Wiggins. And, just to me, being a star in his role. Really, all the others, man. Like that's what it's about to me in these playoff series. You know what we expect from like a Steph. We know what we expect from Clay and the other guys, man. But when you step up in that type of situation, facing a potential 3-1 deficit, those rebounds matter. And for him to be a guard/forward and being able to just go and crash the glass like that made a big difference. Those extra possessions for an extra Steph Curry shot. So I got to give it to Andrew Wiggins. Obviously, Steph, they don't win this game without his offensive showcase he put on tonight. But that's what I want to shout out, man. Shout out to Andrew Wiggins.
Yeah, that's a good shout out. Yeah, he had 17 points, which is, again, what we kind of expected. But besides Steph Curry, Andrew Wiggins really has been that consistent player. He gave us what we expected in points. And what really pushing him to the MVP of the game for the night, is his rebounding. He has some really key rebounds. And to pull down 16, that's definitely not going to go unnoticed. So, good pick. I definitely agree with your pick. And another stat that helps his case. He finished with the second highest plus minus of his team. Plus 20.
Yep.
Behind Kevin Looney's 21, who was another person who had a great impact on the game with his rebounding. So,
absolutely, man.
So, yeah. Those two players are really key to the Warriors out-rebounding the Celtics by a wide margin tonight. So, really good pick. I definitely agree with you. Definitely agree. Okay.
True.
Yeah, so we gave the flowers to the Warriors. We give them all the credit. We gave credit to Steve Kerr for making the adjustments, Steph Curry for stepping up in a huge way. The others, as you said. Now, I'm ready to get into what I really want to get into. All right, what went wrong for the Celtics? I'm going to tell you what went wrong.
Floor is yours, man.
I'm going to tell you what went wrong. After the 7-minute mark, the 7:32 mark, around that area, in the fourth quarter, this is what happened. Tatum, 22-footer miss. Tatum, layup miss. Smart layup miss. Then Smart made a 3. Cool. And now it's 94-90. All right. Golden State leading. All right. Then Brown, 12-foot miss. Brown, 25-foot miss. Tatum, 27-foot miss. Smart, 25-foot miss. Smart, 27-foot miss. Horford, 27-foot miss. Horford made it 3. Now it's 100 to 97. I was like, good. This is good. Right? Then Brown had a turnover. A terrible turnover.
Yeah.
Then once the game was really about over, White had a 25-foot miss. They only scored 6 points in that stretch. 6 points in that stretch. The Warriors really beat them. The Celtics really beat themselves. They went 7 for 21 in the fourth quarter as a whole. So they got out-rebounded. They beat themselves up with turnovers. I feel like they really rushed themselves in the fourth quarter. And why is Smart taking all these shots? Listen. I like Smart's mentality here. He was like, man, Tatum not going to take the shot or Brown's not going to take the shot. I'm going to take the shot. And boy, did he take those shots from the 3. In my mind, I'm like, give the ball to Tatum or give the ball to Brown. And it seemed like, why not keep the ball? Like, and again, out of all these misses,
25-footer Jaylen Brown missed. 25-footer Jaylen Brown missed.
Listen,
yeah, man, it's bad.
I'm looking at this again. Tatum only took 3 shots from the 7-minute mark on. Only 3 shots. That you can't do that as a superstar player. Brown,
close.
Brown, same thing. Two shots in that bad turnover. Smart should not be the one taking most of these shots. He took 4 of them.
It's not like he had it going either.
He did not. He had some good buckets here and there, but he is not that. That is not his role. That is not his role. I would have rather seen Tatum or Brown take those shots. Preferably Tatum, honestly.
Yeah.
And because of all this, now they found themselves in the hole. And Tatum was very lazy with the basketball tonight too. He had some terrible turnovers.
Yeah. I think he was expecting a lot of calls too.
Nah, still no. He had 6 turnovers.
Yeah.
6. That's inexcusable. He scored 23 points on 23 shots. That's so inefficient. And he's missing free throws today. What? Like, it was weird. This was a bad Jason Tatum game. You're at home. An opportunity to really clinch the series. And you allow your team to beat themselves like this. It's crazy. I'm basically done with my rant though. That was terrible. It was terrible.
Yeah. Man, I agree with you for the most part. Like, you gotta put the ball in the hands of your leader, your superstar, and for him to only get 3 shots in the fourth, or in that
stretch, in that very crucial stretch right there. That's it.
Yeah, it's crunch time. I want the ball in the best player's hands, and that's no slight to Marcus Smart, but I noticed that at times they can. Tatum and Brown are still young players, relatively young, younger than Marcus Smart, but they're still the best players on the team, and I feel like they can be a little bit more passive when it comes to it's time to take over. And yeah, I'm the same way. Like, I respect what Marcus Smart does on the court, but there's no way I want him taking this many shots, especially if you're having a not even average, you're having a pretty much non-effective offensive game. I think I got the stat right here. His plus minus was minus 17. And Tatum and Brown aren't taking the shots. And Tatum, for the most part, they played a great first half. Like, I think the Celtics, I was looking at it, I was like, okay, they got to go on tonight. Like, Tatum was hitting threes. Jaylen Brown was getting to the basket. That acrobatic layup that he hit, I was like, okay, yeah, Jaylen Brown is on one tonight. But that last stretch was just terrible. Another thing, like I said, like Al Horford, plus minus was minus 11. Pick and roll matchups. Couldn't really, this was something I said too. I remember this. I figured that Golden State was going to get those mismatches. And once again, I'm not slighting any players, no slight to Al Horford, but I didn't see that happening where he would be able to switch consistently and get stops on Steph. And we saw that tonight when he was getting by him, and whether Steph made a shot or not, it was making a play for someone else. Klay Thompson still had 18, even though he didn't have a great game. That second half, the Warriors made adjustments, but like you said, Tatum played sloppy, Brown started to play sloppy, and they have to be more aggressive, and they have to just put their heads down and not expect calls. Like, I feel like that's a big thing in the NBA now, is that guys expect superstar treatment because they're a big name, they're a franchise player. It's the playoffs, it's the finals, and at this point, you got to play tough. You got to play aggressively and not really look for a whistle. That's at least my mindset of, if I'm going to the basket against Draymond, I'm going to go put him in the rim. That's got to be their mentality, and I don't feel like they had it tonight. And overall, man, I just and they didn't really have a big production as far as offense either. Like, I'm looking at the numbers right now. Tatum scored 23 on 35% shooting. Jaylen Brown, 19 on 47%, which is not bad. Marcus Smart, 18 points on 39%. Derek White had, wait, I'm looking at the wrong thing. Jaylen Brown had 21, Marcus Smart 18, Derek White 16. But the turnovers were so bad, and they couldn't keep up with the boards. No one on the Celtics had that many boards in comparison to Robert Williams and Jason Tatum, and they can't get a win like that. So Celtics definitely have to make adjustments and be more careful with the ball, man, because a lot of deflected passes on both sides, but in the end, the Warriors were able to benefit from their simple mistakes.
True. And like the Warriors were turning the ball over as well. They played a sloppy game too.
It was bad, man.
It was honestly a sloppy game.
It was embarrassing.
but the Celtics just broke down the stretch. And good point about, again, we talked about this almost every game, every reaction we had. You cannot drop against Steph Curry. Don't even drop against Klay Thompson. You can't drop.
Yeah, even though he hasn't been shooting that well, he's starting to ignite. You can slowly but surely see him getting a rhythm in his shooting. Like tonight, he looked. It's a way he shoots that I look at him and I'm like, okay, that's not going. He didn't really. He just wanted to get a shot off, but he looks like he's in the intent of making shots to me, just on based on how I watched the game and his motion. So that's gonna be they have to learn to be up on the pick and roll because they got shooters. It's Golden State.
Yeah, they were doing better. Yeah. Particularly Robert Williams was doing a better job tonight.
Robert Williams was great.
He was doing a better job tonight. He had a lapse here or there, but it's like you just gotta keep drilling that. Do not drop. Always keep an eye on him. And those rebounds did not help because whenever you get the offensive board, okay, now you gotta look at where's Steph Curry, or where's Klay Thompson. You know, honestly, that's where they get good looks off of, and that's how Klay can get hot. All those offensive rebounds and in transition. The Warriors killed it in transition today.
Yep, exactly.
That's another shout out to them.
Yeah, even though Draymond didn't have a good game at all, he was pushing the ball in transition a lot, and that helped them to, get their pace going and get out, get easy baskets. So,
yeah,
big time.
Definitely. So you really went over almost everything we went wrong. The turnovers, the inefficient shooting. Last thing too, I almost forgot to say this. It seemed like when they're in that panic type mode, right? Particularly in that 7:30 mark on in the fourth quarter, they did not run their sets. It was so isolation heavy. Honestly.
Yeah, that's true.
They're just trying to drive and kick. That is so easy to defend.
Yeah.
They were not really they weren't really exposing their matchups. For example, earlier in the game too, Jason Tatum had Bielisa. I'm sorry if I pronounced his name wrong. Bielisa. All right, there we go. You should take advantage of that matchup, no matter how big he is. He does not see much playing time at all. You have to take advantage of that matchup. Take the advantage because the Warriors don't have many great defenders. They don't have a whole bunch of length or athleticism on their end. Okay, so attack Jordan Poole, attack Steph Curry. Whenever they're on the floor at the same time, you can get your mismatch. Draymond Green has not been the best. So you just gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah.
And run your sets. That was just, it was so isolation heavy. And it seemed like Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, like you said, it was like they were kind of shying away from the ball. Again,
shots.
Right, again, Smart should not be the one taking the majority of those shots. So,
there's no way. No way. Oh man.
Terrible.
Yeah. I agree with you, man. It's just they don't really. I don't know. I can't really call out what their sets are, honestly, because the ball is in Tatum's hand for ISO, maybe a pick and roll with.
I mean, do anything. Call an all ball screen, like something. Like they were just literally on ball ISO. Drive, try to kick it, try to get the mismatch, try to get mistake to rotate. It was just, that's so easy to defend though in those moments. And shout out to the Warriors for defending better. Shout out to them for defending better. So
they definitely made adjustments. Something that Jeff Van Gundy said in the first half was that the Warriors weren't defending the right-handed drive. Like every time,
He did say that.
multiple times, Jaylen Brown going to his right, getting to the rim. Jason Tatum going to his right, getting to the rim. So I'm like, all right, y'all see they're only going right. So cut off the right, force some baseline, or, depending on what side they're on, cut off the right side dribble, make them go into your help defense, or put your help defense that way so that, they don't get these easy looks at the rim. And I felt like they cut that off a little bit more in the second half, especially down the line especially when they weren't even taking a lot of shots. So
yeah, that's
adjustment.
Yeah, that's gonna be a common theme over the next couple of days. I'm sure we'll be hearing that a lot. But if we hear that a lot, that means the Warriors are gonna hear it a lot, and that means they'll be even more prepared for it, which is not good for the Celtics. Also, the Celtics were known as a fourth quarter team. They were really hyping that narrative. They were also hyping up the narrative that the Warriors were a really good third quarter team. And then back in my head tonight, I was like, they're stretching that so much. I was like, it's probably going to backfire. It just happens like that, So we'll see what happens. Let's go ahead and predict what happens in Game 5. So again, the Warriors tie up the series. They go back home for Game 5. So this means now they have home court advantage again. So, yeah, what are your predictions for Game 5?
With this Game 4 victory for the Warriors, I don't see them slowing down. I think they build on the momentum. Going back to San Fran, they're going to be ready. Their role players are going to play better. They're going to shoot better. I think, like I said, Klay Thompson, to me, is continuing to work his way into scoring fashion. And I see him having a bigger game back in San Francisco. I'm taking the Warriors, man, for Game 5. I think they win by double digits. I'm not going to say a blowout, but I feel like they may take the game over, especially at home. Third quarter, that third quarter narrative might come out to be true for them. I can see that happening, and them winning by 10 to 15 points. So I'm saying the Warriors, man. I think Steph, especially now with them getting that extra couple days. The next game is Monday, and today is Friday. Got Saturday, Sunday, and they can do what it does. I think I say the Warriors get the win, man.
Okay, I give you that. Even though the Celtics really disappointed me in the fourth quarter it's like the Warriors. It's like the Celtics cannot win back-to-back games in these playoffs. It's like they really can't.
They do have this tendency to lose and bounce back. It's crazy, but
they do. But the fact they just can't win straight, it's just, yeah. I do predict. I think the Celtics are going to bounce back, and it's going to be largely because Jason Tatum is going to have a breakout finals game. That's the only way they can win. I think they can do it. I don't see Jason Tatum having another bad game like this in a row. Jason Tatum has to play better. And I'll say this: if I'm wrong and the Celtics do lose Game 5, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. I mean,
so just to be clear, you're picking the Celtics to win.
Yes.
But if the Celtics lose, you're saying the Warriors are going to win it in 6.
They will most likely win it in 6 if the Celtics lose this one. Because, all right, maybe I'm overreacting right now because based on how bad they beat themselves, maybe I am. But okay, so I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna backtrack and just follow the trend. I do believe the Celtics will win.
Mm-hmm.
They'll lose Game 6 at home. Crazy. And then win Game 7. And I'll be sticking to my original prediction of Celtics in 7. Yeah, this is a great final series so far. I'm glad it's not just so one-sided. It's still almost like a toss-up series based on how one team plays. So I still think the Celtics have the better team. I still think they have more depth and then better defense. It's just they always beat themselves.
They're young though. I think that's
they are, but
a big part of it.
Man,
you just having those certain inconsistencies, like tonight when they didn't put the ball in Tatum's hands and he only got 3 shots in the most important stretch of the game. You know, it's a growing pain, and I feel like they probably learned that tonight. Hard lesson, but hey, man, it's interesting. I respect that take. So you go either way.
I take what I said back about them being a young team. They have been in the conference finals before. They've been in the playoffs plenty of times, despite their age. So at this point, that's not an excuse anymore. I mean, they have to. They beat the Brooklyn Nets. They defeated the Milwaukee Bucks, who were the current champions. No excuses if they lose based on inexperience. Because if it was inexperience or them being young, they would have lost to earlier.
I mean, that's true. I mean, when I say young, I mean in terms of championship experience. When you look at Golden State,
so compare it to Golden State. I see.
Comparison to Golden State and the fact that no one on the Celtics has touched the finals before until now. Right. You know, I expect them to be battle tested. They went up against LeBron for years in the conference finals, and KD this year, swept the Nets. But I think they have the NBA experience, but when it comes to the finals, it's just a different beast. And they're also playing a team that they don't really see as often as they would these other teams in the East, because they only play Golden State twice a year. And for the most part, when Golden State was in their original repeat championship era, they were, playing with KD and Steph and went 73-9 that year. As in comparison to now, they're kind of a different team in comparison. And like I said, the Celtics don't really have that finals experience. So that's what I mean. No excuses. We want better from these young superstars, man. So
especially Tatum. Got to step up. I'm predicting one of them is going to step up huge and have a huge finals game. If not both of them.
I think Jaylen Brown. I'm not gonna lie. I can see Tatum having like a big game, like a 30 piece or whatever, and they lose. I can see that. I feel like they're
and if that happens, that's it.
You jumping off the Celtics ship, man?
No, I'm not going off the ship. I'm just saying.
Okay.
Hopefully they still win. I'm just saying if they have a big game from Tatum and still lose, because for now they've been winning, even though Jason Tatum hasn't had like a great game,
Yeah.
But if they lose when Tatum has a great game, that's tough. Because apparently that's rare right now. So you gotta take advantage of that.
Yeah.
Just like the Warriors finding one from a big Steph game compared to game 1. So yeah.
And game 2. I think he had 30 in that one too, or over 30.
Yeah, he had 30 something. Yeah. And tonight he had 40, so you couldn't lose this one. Yeah.
Man, that takes me back. What was that game? Back at the Warriors and Cavs. LeBron and Kyrie had like 40 apiece and lost. I was like, oh, that's that's painful. That is painful. So, definitely hope to see a good game. I'm sticking with the Warriors for this next one, but
yeah, I'm have to go with the Celtics for this next one. I have to hope and see if they'll win.
You gotta tap into the groove, fellas, man.
I thought it was this game. It didn't work out. I should have known the Celtics don't have good back-to-back games.
We were both wrong, man.
I should have remembered that. The Celtics do not have good back-to-back games. So,
yeah, man. Interesting though. I'm like I said. I think we both are just glad to see a competitive series, man. Because it was looking like, I would have been disappointed if the Celtics won, because I'm like, dang, it was 3-1. No, man. But it would have been an interesting story if the Warriors came back and tied the series up. I mean, but this is good. So steady competition, and I want to see what happens next.
We'll see. So those are our thoughts and our immediate reactions to Game 4. We predicted Game 5. I'm going for Celtics. Jose's predicting the Warriors. My prediction is more so based off of hope more than anything. I can't give you any NBA stat other than the Celtics don't really have bad back-to-back games. That's the only stat I can really rely on. So, yeah. So make sure to check out the podcast on all podcast platforms. Check out our YouTube page. We have a page on Facebook. We got a website as well. Check all those things out. If you have any business inquiries, check out our email. It's in our links on our pages and on our website. We'll be live tomorrow for our normal episodes. We have a lot to get into that we really look forward to talking about. Things that happen in the WNBA, things that happen in J. Cole is hooping right now. Gotta get into that as well. There's a lot of stuff we gotta get into. LeBron is a billionaire. Darvin Ham had an introductory press conference talking about Russell Westbrook. The Hornets have a new coach.
Oh, man.
There's a lot to get into. So check out the podcast with us live tomorrow on Facebook and YouTube. So, yeah.
Absolutely, man. Thank y'all for watching, for subscribing, for supporting. Follow us on YouTube, on the Swish Masters, at the Swish Masters on Facebook. Follow Q and I on Instagram at QtheGuru, at Xzequtive Productions, Twitter, Zay the Executive Producer. We're out here. We appreciate y'all, and we'll see you in the next one.
All right. Peace.
What up? Thank you for tuning in to the Swish Masters Podcast, and thank you to our sponsor, SS96. Visit ss96.net and use the promo code Swish Masters for 15% off. Yeah, that's right. You heard me right. 15% off on all store items. Hats, hoodies, t-shirts, whatever you need, SS96 has it. Also, don't forget to go and check out that music from Straight Stoner, produced by yours truly. You know what it is, Gut Gang, mobbing, sleepwalking. We out here. Thank you.